So what happened? You were trying to change the weed whacker cord, like the
Yeah, I bought like a pack of stuff off of somebody on Kijiji, which is like a classified thing around here. I think it was. Yeah,
classified
or
like ad
marketplace. It was
classified
one of
ads.
that
Yeah,
classified
yeah, yeah,
ads.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like what's
and
classified about
yeah, it
Kijiji?
was classified. I don't know. It's yeah, and I was putting in the little core spool
Yeah,
inside
yeah,
of
yeah.
it, but I had left the battery in
And then your
when I
boy
did.
came up and grabbed the trigger.
Yeah, and it was like behind me
Yeah,
because
couldn't
I
see
just
it.
had it up kind of like this, and I had
Yep,
it tucked into
yep.
my arm to hold it, and I just put the cap back on, or but with this hand, I just put the cap back on, and then all of a sudden,
What?
yeah, I hear him, and I look back with my hand still there, and that's why it kind of just caught the edge because my hand was already leaving as I was doing it.
Dad duties, hey?
Yeah, yeah, I'm just happy it was me. Like if it was the
Oh
other
my
end for
God.
some reason, but
Right?
yeah, danger, danger,
Yeah,
Will
right.
Robinson.
Yeah, I've done some stupid things while I was high, man. God, man, I just sometimes I'm like, no, this is because you're dumb. This is not because you're high. This is because you're dumb.
Right.
But in reality, it's probably a combination of both. I do tend to get too high and do things sometimes. Um, Case in point, I was trying to set up the like we were building a fence. I was trying to set up a string line to make sure that I could get like a nice straight line.
Okay.
And I'm trying to like take a span of well from one side of my yard to the other side, which is almost like 70 feet. And I'm like setting up. I'm like trying to set up this line, and I've got multiple posts already set up, and so I'm trying to string the line up across. And there's probably 6 posts between me and the end, and I'm like stringing this line, but like 3/4 of the way down, the line caught like a piece of the 4x4 post, and rather than coming up level, it like stayed hooked on like a splinter, and so the line like drastically, rather than going straight, went like down and then back up, and I didn't catch it, so I like started putting fence boards in, and I must have got oh man, I must have gone like 15 feet.
Oh no.
And I'm like, like the board is getting lower and lower, lower, lower as like less and less is coming as I'm like getting closer and closer to the screw. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like following, like I'm looking like a few feet ahead. I'm like, I'm on the line. I like to take a step back and I like look and I'm like drastic V in the fence line. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Oh,
Yeah, so unscrew all the boards,
yeah.
restring the line. I was like, God dang it, man.
It's the
God.
jumping into things with a little bit too much ambition without like thinking it all through.
Yeah.
That's the times that like
You
get
just
you. You're just like, oh, I'm just gonna do this, and then you
yes.
do it, and then
It's
you
like
like
I shouldn't have done
literally setting up the trampoline. We took down last year. We got my kid a trampoline for his birthday, and we took it down and just left the frame outside, and so we put it back together, and we got all the way. I put all the springs in, and then we're like, okay, now we have to put the loops over the posts for the
that for the
netting.
net.
We didn't line it up before we did that, so we had to take literally every single spring off,
No.
shift it over. I think it was like 2 springs, and then putting all of them back in.
And there's like easily like 200 springs. Like
It's an
it's
atrocious amount of
ridiculous.
springs,
You've
and
been
it
everyone's been
was
on a trampoline.
yeah,
All
it was one of those things like, oh, we're basically done, and then it was like, no, we're gonna do this for at least another half an hour because it takes
Start
you
all
can't
over.
just like pull them off in a row. You have to do it like opposite sides and stuff to reduce the
Yeah.
tension, so it takes
Right.
forever. And yeah, that was just outside, smoke
Yeah,
joint. It's
smoking
like, okay,
joints.
let's put this trampoline back up, and
Yep. Yep.
didn't think about this portion of it. Right.
High and motivated,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
too high and over motivated.
If it wasn't for the net, if it wasn't for safety.
Right? And
Yeah.
which could have been totally thrown out the window.
Yeah. It's like we could just cut it off. We could just
Who
cut
needs
it.
the net, boy?
Yeah.
Stay in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Don't touch the edges, you'll be fine.
Yeah. That happens. That happens. You know what? Some of the best things I get done, man, are as high as I can be. It's like when I go out and do yard work and I'm like, I spend 2-3 hours out there. I just like getting totally high to the point where it's like you got a slight drool and it's like you can't function a whole lot. It's like you go out there, man, and it's just like you just do.
Yeah.
You go out and you just take in the nature that's there and the jobs that need to be done because they have to be done anyway. So you may as well just be high and enjoy it.
You're gonna be outside, enjoy the hell out of it. Yeah, it's great.
It is.
It's the best. It's the way I love spending my days tinkering outside and like doing stuff. I just put my kids' little like those battery operated cars.
Oh, like the Power Wheels.
Yeah, Power Wheels. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got like a little cop car one that my parents got him for I think his birthday a couple years ago.
Yep.
But the battery went on it, so I put in an adapter for my drill batteries, and then I upgraded a couple things. I upgraded the motor to an 18-volt motor from 12-volt and stuff, and so all the parts have been in, and I got it all put back together yesterday for him. So
nice.
Ripping around the yard. Yeah, it was great. He was
That's
just
awesome.
smiling his stupid little face off the whole time. It was great.
That's
awesome.
He
like took off once, got kind of out in the field a little bit, like turned back and like gave us both a thumbs up, and just like turned around and like took off again, and he's chasing the dog with it. Yeah, it was great.
That's awesome.
I was like, that was well worth a little bit of time and effort.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Taking the thing apart again.
Family benefits, when we're motivated enough to complete some tasks and get some jobs done.
Yeah.
Do the things that need to be done.
Tinker around, give my son a little bit of more of an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
The other one's too slow. Like I've got that big field right by us, so it's just takes him forever to go anywhere. And now he's just like, oh yeah, here we go.
I'm going to the other side.
He's like not quite old enough for something with a motor, but
get there.
Yeah, this will last him another little while.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I haven't found like where I get to a point where it's like weed hinders that experience, not only just for him, but like keeping me doing things, man. I just don't get me wrong. There's different strains that put me in like different mindsets. Where it's like some of them are like it does kind of put a lethargic feeling on things where it's just like, I think I'm just gonna stay inside, and do nothing, Yeah. But generally speaking, it's like I'm looking for something that's gonna get me outside, keep me active, keep me functional, pain management to a minimum, or pain management is there, pain at a minimum, and and I can keep up. I've been smoking lots out of the. Actually, it's your fault. The Mighty Plus.
Yeah,
that thing goes with me everywhere, man.
It's funny.
I had this thing for like 7 months, 8 months, if not maybe like a year. And
it was
like,
wow.
Oh, you got the Mighty Plus? I was like, yeah, it's right there. It's in the package, totally wrapped up and everything. And he's like, let me try it. I was like, have at it.
Yeah.
And
I got it all set up and everything.
And then left.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Well, it was because
charged.
Again, it was brand new and it had no battery charge in it.
No, so you had to plug it in.
So I plugged it in and then walked away, forgot.
Yeah.
So I just left you with this packed full of a fully charged device.
Fully charged battery just sitting next to the computer. I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot. Took a few like tries to figure it out. Because like as soon as you pack a bowl and like charge it and hit it, you're not getting anything in the first couple hoots, right? Because it's it's got a vapor. You gotta get worked in.
The oven's gotta get warmed.
That's right. The first few, I was like, a little lackluster. But then as I started to figure it out, I was like, this thing's changed my life. I take this thing everywhere. Whether I'm going baseball, hockey, your place, anywhere.
I think that high quality herb vaporizers are well expensive for one of the like sneak things that people really should be investing in, especially for portable use in public spaces and wanting to be more discreet about it. Like you still get all the flexibility of the flower market where you've got everything available to you, but now you get to go to the kids' hockey game or whatever you're doing and have the puff outside in the parking lot, not worrying about walking in like smoking like you just smoked a joint or you just had a hoot out of a pipe or whatever, right? Like it's a big difference in operating like that. And it's it's not that I'm ever hiding that I'm high or avoiding situations like that anymore, especially now. It's just I think also I didn't like that about cigarettes, about stinking, and so just the intrusiveness of that. It's funny when I smell it on other people. It's not like a cigarette thing where you're like, oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's just funny how that differs.
Yeah, man, it's the same thing. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not, ashamed of myself because I consume weed. I don't
Need
need
to
to bring
advertise it.
on. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm also a straight male. You know, I don't need to advertise that.
Right. Yeah.
I enjoy hockey. I don't need to tell everybody that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like there's just a time and a place. And you know, at my boy's soccer game, hockey game, school, you know,
Yeah.
that's not the time
No,
to have that harbor that conversation.
Yeah, I'm not getting end of the night high or whatever. Anyways,
Right,
in that situation as
right,
it is. So
yeah.
it's just I also don't need to smell like I am because no
No.
matter what, nobody knows the difference.
And it's a
As soon as you
professional
smell it.
standard too. You know,
I
what
think so.
Like, you know, I do like to smell good, and you know, I don't want anyone else to feel uncomfortable. I want to have an impact on your perception of me. You know what I mean? Like I have the ability to somewhat control what your immediate perception of me is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So let's make it the best. You know, let's make not that it's a negative.
No, but I think
time and a place.
It makes it a lot more fun too when people get to find out how much.
For sure,
right?
Yeah.
And how high you are. Like when they just have to discover this down the road, they don't just smell it on you immediately. It's just one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if I'm walking in to go to a bank meeting or hanging out with my friends. It's just there's different settings.
Right, different settings, and it's like and the conversation that comes of it later. You know what I mean? Like, man, I noticed you kind of smell like a little bit of weight. You know, and it's like, oh yeah, you smoke too? Boy, do I ever!
Yeah.
You know, I love those. I love that conversation.
Yeah, the discovery.
Yeah. Your boy's not quite old enough yet, where you're doing a ton of functions, like and socializing with parents and stuff like that.
No, I mean he's
still
preschool.
getting there. Even the preschool in its own, there's that moment in which there's a passing. You know, parents are waiting either outside, waiting for the class to let go.
He's a few kids that he has play dates with, and you know, there's a couple of the parents. But yeah, like it's still. There's more. I'm excited for more of that because that's the stuff like I get to see. You get to interact with, and you get to find out who the parents are.
Yeah, and then little do you know, it's like the ones that are like really enjoyable, and the ones that are actually some of like the more notable people in town. Where you would think, wait a second, didn't take you to be a pothead,
right?
And they're thinking the same thing about me, which I'm thinking I just scream pothead, and then they're going, I didn't know you smoke weed. Right. I was like, really?
Really? Which part? Yeah.
How?
Yeah. Where did you not pick this up?
I smoked a joint on the way in here. Yeah. You know, but that's the fun part about it because it almost becomes a game. You know, in terms of like, I feel like you get higher too when you're somewhere where you're not supposed to be high. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I remember when I was like in school, like in university. Get really, really high over my buddy's house, and then I come to like either like a philosophy class or like political science class, and I'm just lost. I'm like, whoa, there's nobody else in here that's high. Yeah. I know I'm the only one.
And everybody knows. Everybody can.
Everyone knows I'm high. Yeah. They're looking at me. I'm looking at them.
You didn't have a crazy expensive vaporizer or whatever.
I didn't then.
Yeah,
no, didn't then. No, it was bong rips and joints and whatever you can get your hands onto now. Or then, but. Yeah, boy, we've come a long way between like lady joints, like the pens that we have, and the vaporizers, and you know, it's a lot easier to be surreptitious.
Yeah, I think the consistency of use has also made me have to be more diversified in my consumption. It's like, I mean, bong rips all day is just rough on your throat, right? And it just becomes a time where it's like, I'm getting in my mid-30s here. And it's just nice to have the option, like, and a lot of times too, especially at night, sitting, watching a show, puffing on the vape. Like the desktop one I've got. Like,
the Volcano is what you have.
No, I've got the Arizer Extreme Q. It's a Canadian company. Yeah, so like.
Oh, I totally thought it was the Volcano.
No. That's like those ones are a little bit of a bigger, you know. This one's got the whip and the bag, which we've done and stuff. But like they're sitting around with the whip at night is like one of my favorite things. Just like chilling and watching the show. Right.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about the Volcano was the bag. Like the bag has like that. What do you call it? I don't know, like that Pineapple Express vibe, where I don't know, you have to do it because it's part of the.
It's nice, I guess. That we used to do the bag a lot when we had people over,
right?
Because then you fill a bag and then you can pass it around, and that was just. an effective method to get everybody started, and
Yeah.
it was kind of fun. But it is like you can just pass around the hose. That also
Pass around the
works.
hose in the bag. The
Yeah.
bag is loud.
The
Crinkle,
crinkles,
crinkle,
yeah,
crinkle,
yeah, yeah.
crinkle.
When everybody's touching it, yeah, that's also very valid. It doesn't get used much. I think every now and then I'll find it in the drawer where all of our stuff is, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah,
Right.
we have this. We
Mine-
should
yeah.
use this."
Mine's like right back there, I think.
Okay.
Was. All pieces, but anyways.
Right.
Yeah, I like that piece. But like, yeah, the Mighty, it's made by the same people who make the Volcano. But yeah.
And I've got the Ariser Argo, which is their portable device, and like between the two of them, both of them give me the same issue where the bowl's too small, but that's all vaporizers,
Yeah.
except for desktop units.
Yeah,
I can hold a
yeah.
little bit more because
I
like
know.
I'm gonna puff through this, or I've got enough people around me that are gonna
burn
this
through it.
pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yep.
But I really like how that Mighty the airflow on it. Like it's a really good pull. I like the Argo is much more compact and I can fit it in a pocket really easy, and it's got the removable battery, glass mouthpiece and stuff, so very easy to clean.
Yep.
And very simple to use. But I don't like the airflow situation as much. It's a much tighter pull. And that was the thing. I was like, the Mighty is nicer to use, but much bigger.
Bigger, and that's also its downside.
Yeah, I think the
Because
Argo
it's
is like a
size.
better comparison to the PAX.
Okay.
Because the PAX is like extremely compact, and it's like maybe not quite as compact as the PAX, but I find the PAX to be very cumbersome to use. Like that magnetic heat door is just
Too much.
yeah.
Yeah.
I get to fill it too much as it is anyways. Whereas in the Argo, I can have like pre-packed glass slides.
Right.
And like just pop it
Right,
in. And
slide
then
it
in
in
worst
inside.
case, you get like I have two of them, so you can have two of them.
Have one going. Yeah, one on standby, one going.
Yeah.
That's handy. Yeah, that's handy. The
Easy to clean. Remove the batteries, so you can be like have a handful of batteries with you, and you're good on a road trip or hiking. Or whatever you're doing.
Right. Yeah, that's the biggest thing I don't like about the Mighty is it's just one battery. It's charge battery, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I haul through that thing pretty quickly.
Yeah. But I guess like in that circumstance, like with me having extra batteries, you just get a battery backup.
Right.
That you use
Totally.
it,
Yeah,
right?
totally would.
Yeah.
The downside again is the size of the bowl. Is like I'm only like it's a regular size bowl. I'm only getting 3 hoots max out of it, and I'm like
Yeah. It basically allows for like 2 people to have a couple of puffs each.
right. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna be set to the
And
beach.
then okay, let's do this again.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
yeah.
do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not gonna be.
Are
that-
you good? Yeah.
Yeah. It's not really meant for It's not meant for a session per se.
No, they're
It's
top
gonna.
ups.
Yeah.
It's just like
gonna
the
set-
vape pens.
Keep you going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're top up. I cannot get high off of those alone.
No.
Those sustain me through a period.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll use one to get me through like a weekend,
Mhm.
which is pushing it because then
Yeah.
I'm just fiending for a bong rip
And,
by
like-
the end of the weekend. But it's
yeah,
yeah.
that's those coils in those things, right? They're not very strong.
Right.
so
Exactly.
If you're on a rig using the distillate on an e-nail or a regular course or something.
Have you seen those like? It's like a chamber or something. They've got like this one mouthpiece, but they've got like 6 carts in there,
Oh yes.
and it hauls on all of them at the once. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, that would be more effective.
Yeah.
But then I would be like,
But I'm like-
why not just buy the distillate and do it in a bong,
Sure.
like a regular
Yeah.
Setup.
Yeah, like a dab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not take a dab?
Take
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Instead of
I don't
burning
know.
through it.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Instead of burning through all those cards.
I think- Yeah, I think it's just to say you did it. I guess.
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea. I have no idea.
So effective.
It's a lot of carts, and man, that's got to be hard on your throat because those pens, like they're good, but they suck.
Yeah.
They hurt on your throat. My throat is pooched. Like smoke a bong all night, but smoke one of those for like a fucking week. Oh,
Yeah. People live off of those. and
I know. Yeah, I know. And
don't
teach
know
their
how.
own. Teach their own. Everybody's doing their thing. Whatever floats your boat.
Get it in
you
your
know?
bodies.
Get it in. Get it
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Whatever.
Like-
And that's why they're good for like holding you over.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Maintenance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, like I honestly think vaping is where the future is going. We were talking actually.
I mean,
one of our
health-wise,
episodes,
right?
Concentrates, right?
Yeah.
Concentrates, and it's like health wise for like even for a guy like myself. Like I love bong rips. I'm a bong guy. Well, then take a pen like a vape pen and hit it on the top of
They
your
have the
bong and
adapters.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you can do that too. You
Yeah.
know, you can do that too.
They
So
have the portable concentrate nails now and stuff. Like you've got one. I've got a couple different versions of those things.
which one?
Like
Which one do I
your
have?
G.
Oh, the
Whatever.
G pen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing right over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, G Pen Connect. It's
Yeah.
you take the top off. I've got a freeze pipe one.
There's a
Same
few
idea.
different versions of those
Pop it
things.
in. Yeah,
And
those are concentrates on the go.
yeah, yeah. You
And
know,
then
and
you can
well,
get flower
being able to
vape
do
too.
it, dealing with the emails and all that stuff. That stuff, prices are going to come down, and we're going to start to see, I think, more and more innovation in those categories, because these companies need avenues to be able to find ways to move more of this product.
Right. Right.
And
to appeal to more people, right?
Yeah.
That, like you're not just appealing to the guy who can afford to reek like dope everywhere he goes.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I would prefer not to.
There's the amount of customers, like I've got people that come and pick up the single half gram or single gram on their run because they don't smoke at home and their family doesn't know that they smoke, and so they'll come pick it up, pay with cash, buy a lighter every time, and for that thing. And I'm like, that's crazy, but okay, enjoy your life, right? Yeah. And like I've had one of those people actually start going to edibles now, just because of that, and he just never really thought about it as an option. And then one of my staff just brought it up to him, because like he didn't bring it up to us like, I know what you're doing here, so I didn't there. And it was just the fact that it was like, I know you don't like using a lot, so what about getting a pack of gummies?
Right.
And you just eat them.
Right.
And he was like, oh shit.
Imagine
and so now he comes in, buys a pack of gummies on his run, but he just buys the fast acting ones.
Right.
And then same effect, doesn't have to worry about smelling as well on top of all.
Doesn't have to buy the lighter.
Yeah, doesn't have to buy the lighter. All these things. Yeah, it's just
so handy.
Totally changes his experience.
Changes his life.
Yeah, yeah.
He changes man's life.
Yeah.
With an edible.
It's funny. There's so much, like, the diversity in the people, the consumption, like why they consume or how they consume.
Of course there is.
It's crazy to see.
Yeah, that's why there's not like one flavor of alcohol.
Right.
There's thousands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thousands of different ways you can put vodka in a drink, or hundreds maybe, I don't know, whatever. But it's like there's countless, where it's like give me what I want in a way that I can enjoy it.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah.
You know what I
The
mean?
options are the best.
That's fair. That's fair. The wife bought edibles. I haven't gotten into edibles like ever, and she got some. She got some for whatever reason, and since they're upstairs, I've been having in. I was like, why not? And believe it or not, my sleeps have been absolutely incredible. Like I'm sleeping all the way through the night, which never fucking happens. And I always thought, shit, edibles don't do anything for me.
You should look at the CBN ones.
Oh, I totally should.
Yeah. I just actually got some samples, some new flower from this is from Grow Town, and the Three Amigos is what it's called, and it's lower on the THC, but it's THC, CBD, and CBG. High CBD, high CBG on that as well too, and it was really neat. Like I smoked like 3 of them, and it was a great during the day thing. This was like you didn't have that stone, but I still had the chill, and I'm like, I'm not worried about my eyes feeling all goofy while I'm like walking around running errands, but I'm like, I still have that nice chill effect. I still felt like I smoked something. I'm satiated.
Yep.
Totally within this, and I was like, oh, this is really neat. That was another one of those new
comfortable
neat
and aware
experiences. Yeah, comfortable and aware. It was just like I got the edge taken off, and I'm like,
that's cool.
Like I would normally use cannabis for, but then also didn't have a stone attached.
Right.
To
and see, that was like my mistake is that I've been trying to use edibles during the day and thinking I was just going to get some crazy high off of it. No, I didn't. It's not it. It's the opposite. I didn't realize I actually needed it to unwind at the end of the day. So yeah, having I think it's like, it's not even a lot, man. It's like, I'll do like maybe 75 to 100 milligrams which is in my books like peanuts, but seems to I'm sleeping. I
Yeah.
haven't slept in a really long time, so I can't deny it. Can't deny it.
Yeah,
It's working.
it's working.
It's working. So I'll use it as a sleep med if that's what it's.
Have you found that you're groggy? Like, have you had the opportunity to like wake up and feel groggy or anything yet, or is it just?
Like sleeping sucks and waking up is worse because it's always like you're just attached to your pillow and you're like, oh. But I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't say that my waking up has been any better.
Okay.
Compared to what I haven't measured it in a way that like take notice. I just know this morning I was really tired. That's why I'm like, but was I really tired yesterday?
Right.
Because I woke up this morning, I was like,
I can't do this.
I don't want to today. I don't want to do. But life's been serving, its platter of challenges lately, right? To everyone, as it does. So it's like that's heavy on it too. So it's like how much of not waking up is not,
I just want to do
mental.
this today. Yeah.
Right. So needless to say, I'm gonna take note though now. I haven't I just know that I'm sleeping longer.
I used my dad as a guinea pig with this because he had sleep problems. He's got like restless leg syndrome and stuff, and he was doing the capsules, doing generally 10 to 20 milligrams a night, which for a guy that's never consumed is like
huge,
a lot. Like that is, I'm getting super high amounts, and especially for him, and like that was an issue was that he would wake up groggy, and also the inconsistency of the capsules a little bit because they weren't a fast acting situation. It was just like a regular oil capsule. So, they worked fairly effectively, but it was an inevitable trickle up of like he had dabbled in once or twice, taken like 3 of them. And again, for a guy that's like only using them to sleep, that's a lot of THC. He's just really high while he's sleeping, right?
Yep.
And I moved him over to these CBN gummies, and they're CBN CBD with like, I think it's 2 milligrams of THC, 20 milligrams of CBD, 10 milligrams of CBN, and he's like out. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's just
and
the
his
mix
brain isn't
better. Right. And he's not like super high. He's not waking up drowsy. The amount of customers I've seen move over into that mixed stuff is crazy. Like, it's just as soon as everybody finds it, and then they can like, oh, I don't even have to deal with the getting high part of it at all. They're taking that out of the equation or reducing its effect, again, using like more of a mix.
Right.
But it's just, which is kind of like that's what you're trying to do anyways, and you were just knocking yourself out with THC.
Hard.
And it's like hard. And it's like now you don't even have to do that. So.
Right. Yeah. Same idea, just different.
Yeah.
Get similar results, but
but you lose some of those side effects that
take away
the party cannabinoid.
Yep. And that's important. That's important. Because these are THC gummies. She has CBD gummies as well, but I haven't been hitting those ones because she's only got 8 of those, and I already had 2, and I don't want to eat them all.
Yeah, so. I find with the straight CBD ones, like they're less effective on me.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't find it gives me enough relief in any, either like in an edible. I've done a cream on my hand, and that one, a high CBD cream on my hand, and that stuff effect was pretty good because I've got some like nerve damage and stuff from being electrocuted.
Yeah, I remember that.
But other like for big muscle stuff, like for me anyways, I don't find it. But as soon as you do a mix and like just a low THC, but where it's present to a respectable level, it like becomes game changing. I don't want it to be in topicals and in an edible situation. I find that to be a lot better. I've even started on the last couple batches of oil that my wife's made for cooking. We've been adding in extra CBD, and then my buddy's another friend has been telling me to add like CBG and such in as well too, because like we have access to this stuff now. I can just add the oil, right? Like
right.
Here you go, and to the mix, because then we're getting I can dose them a little differently now because of that. It's kind of nice because again, every time she makes a batch of something, it's just like, oh, now we have all these cookies.
Right.
Cool. Yeah. Those are good. Now I'm high. I'm going to eat more.
Right.
Yeah.
Where did all those
now I'm eating these
go?
for snacks. Yeah. Yeah, it's a spiral, but it's good.
It's good to be able to experiment too, man, and to find the dose, find what works for you. Because
Yeah.
this, like, I just feel like as human beings, we've been generations without the ability to have access to this plant that previous we know helped us tremendously,
Yeah.
right? And yet we denied it, so we don't really know what's the best amount,
No.
when, what kind.
That I like playing with that a lot. Us, like, we have a magical butter maker, so is what we use to do it. But once I did a bunch of research and found some like cooking calculations and dealing with your input, just because I wanted that control. I wanted to be able to figure out, okay, how do they deal with dosing stuff? So we figured that out. We played that game, and we really found that we generally like a little bit of a lower dose on those. And like worst case, I'll eat two for the better effect, because under very rare circumstances am I not also smoking.
Right.
And so it was just that amp up. It's Saturday night, we're gonna watch SNL. I was gonna eat a couple of cookies while we sat and vaped and
Yep.
had the bong all night, whatever. And doing that, that like kick up a little bit extra. It's like the beverages. I find that they're the same thing
Right.
for a social
Right.
occasion.
Right.
If I'm not going to drink, but I'm going to
Yeah.
smoke, and then I'm like drinking those, but they're also effective. So just keep layering.
Right. Right. It's like it's great to have these options, man. I
Yeah.
can't wait until we can get more than 10 milligrams
Yeah.
inside of a product, because 10 milligrams is just like
Yeah, it becomes
such
work.
a small amount.
Like
you know?
it's great, and those products need to be available at those amounts because there's a lot of people that utilize them. But it's just there's a whole part of the market that just is being ignored. Like again, I think that there needs to be those low dosage ones. They need to be available for people, but it can't be the whole market. There's too many other people. Like the dollar will go there.
Yeah. Yep. I totally agree. Yep. Totally agree. That's a whole other conversation right there.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, but edibles, that was a great one, man. Vaping, keep them highly motivated. That's what this is all about.
Doing stuff.
Doing stuff, doing it on weed, man. Yeah. Guys, thanks for watching. That's another episode here at Highly Motivated. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget, go check out the website. We're at highlymotivatedproductions.ca. Just come see what's going on, maybe the latest news, and if you happen to miss anything on YouTube, you might see the latest videos as well. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification, and thanks for 500 subscribers.
Thanks again, guys.
That's pretty sweet. Peace.